morning. Let's see that we can have. So I'm Yves, and I'd like to sit back with you for a moment, and I'd like to ask you to imagine, because in a not so distant future, the watch around your wrist, based on reading your heart rate, your temperature, your blood pressure, will be able to predict to you that you're going to have a disease like the flu. On beforehand, you'll be able to go to the doctor, receive a pill, and prevent feeling the headache, lying in bed, having a sore back, and all the other nausea effects. So who would actually be interested in such a solution? Who would like to have such a solution around his wrist? It's interesting to see, indeed. People are interested, because Zensor, it's a company we founded 2 years ago together with my associate Dan, is actually doing exactly the same thing for large infrastructure made of concrete and or steel. So offshore wind turbines, but also many other types of structures. We're equipping those with different types of sensors, reading out all parameters related to the state of health of the structure, recording the data, recording operational data, and all of that combining with smart algorithms and giving predictions on the state of health of the structure. When do you have to do maintenance? When can you do a lifetime extension, etc., etc. Of course, the question is this relevant? Now, if we look at recent, not so recent media messages, there's two that I want to show here. The left one is very spoken about in Belgium. It's about the nuclear centrals, where based on regular inspections, all of a sudden cracks were detected in a nuclear vessel, and that was all of a panic because they didn't know where they came from and how fast they were growing. Based on a monitoring approach, there would be a lot less unrest in the country on this situation. The next one is an incident that happened in the United States where a highway bridge collapsed. Again, something that could have been avoided by some simple monitoring where you could see the structure was degrading up to the state that it collapsed. Are we relevant as a company? I believe we are. This is a list of the partners we're working with today, and also exclusively I can tell you today that since yesterday we know we'll be working on the next offshore wind farm in front of the Belgian coast, which is a Dutch-Belgian collaboration. So I think we're doing quite well in this business. But anyways, I'm here to talk to you also a bit about launching startups, and I was aiming to point at aspiring entrepreneurs, people trying to set up a company, and give them some messages about our experience, because first thing, if you say about investing in startups or finding investment for your startup, make sure that you don't see the investment as your goal. The goal is what's there in the fine print. What should be your goal is setting up a good and a solid company. The funding, the investment is only an instrument. And of course, connected to that, how should I do this? There's no recipe to follow, because if you will follow somebody else's recipe, you will fail. There's only one right recipe, and that's the recipe you write your own. Every business, every company has its own specific path that will lead to its success. And now speaking again about our context, we're operating in a B2B context as a young and a small company towards looking at the bigger companies, and they're indeed looking down at us and saying, okay, what's this small, young partner doing? Can we have confidence in them? How should we approach them? So that's making us face a lot of challenges. So there's a funding part, but that's also how you operate in the market. What's your image? How you work with it. So know that often you're in the position of the little chihuahua there. So be smart. Don't try to take it with force. Be smart. And regarding investments, there's 3 rules. The first one is prepare and prepare yourself. Think a lot with your colleagues, with your associates, with peers that you can talk to. What do I actually need? So it's not only about your business plan. It's not only about how many euros do I need. It's really what do I need to bring this company to the stage I need it to be. Know that on beforehand. Then secondly, talk to multiple investors and choose wisely. Do they match with what you need, not inversely? And then also, when ending up in discussions, set your limits on beforehand. You know what you need, set your limits. There's nothing wrong with walking away if they just don't match with what you need. So in our case, the Zensor case, what we did, that we went for a limited amount of funding, but we looked for investors that did not only contribute funding, they needed to contribute added value, links with networks, credibility. We concluded our first round and are already preparing our next one for the further scale-up of the company. And as a final message for aspiring entrepreneurs, I would like to tell you to at least try. Don't stop. Try as soon as possible. But when trying, be patient. 1 or 2 failures doesn't mean it's a failure of your project. Keep on carrying on, keep on trying, and I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you.